Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. These fucking Adrians, they're everywhere. I'm surrounded by fucking Adrians. I feel like I'm going to be at war with Adrians for the rest of my life now. And the thing is, there's so many fucking Adrians around that my kid is starting to turn into an Adrian. You should hear some of these little cunts speak to their parents. I swear to fucking God. Even in India, where your fucking elders are meant to be worshipped and respected, they're just fucking throwing bombs at them. And it's the fucking parents' fault. These cunts are just creating fucking Adrians everywhere. So my kid has like 2 good friends in the street. There's like fucking 15 kids in the street, but these kids are his age. So the first one's autistic Adrian, and the second one's slightly less autistic Adrian. And these 2 little cunts just fucking dominate their parents. They've just got free fucking reign to do whatever they want. So my kid's not allowed to play with the phone at all. 0. He doesn't even ask for it because he knows he's not fucking getting it. But he's found a loophole in the system. And the loophole is to go to autistic Adrian's house and watch him play on the phone. So autistic Adrian, being slightly autistic, I don't even know if he is autistic, but he's weird. He might not even be autistic. He might have just snuck in. He might have just snuck into normal. Well, not completely normal. He's a little bit retarded or something. So autistic Adrian, he's just on the phone fucking for like 8 hours a day. Like he has to be vitamin D deficient. And the only reason he ever leaves the house is when I say to my kid, look, you're not going over there to just sit and fucking play on the phone for fucking 8 hours. You're not even allowed into his house. Get out, play in the street. Play in the street where the cars are and the wild dogs and the fucking cows and the footpaths that have holes in it. Get out there. So anyway, autistic Adrian, he spends so much time on the phone that he's just like completely fucking addicted to it, and his parents can't even take it off him now. He goes so fucking mental if they take it off him that it's just easier to keep him on it. So when they try, my son will be there. They try and take the phone off him, and fucking Adrian just goes off his fucking head, starts telling them what it's all about, gives him a little bit of what for, and my kid picks this shit up, and then he brings it home. This is what I mean. I talk about this all the time. One bad parent in the system fucking poisons all the water. So I get back from the gym today because I'm trying to get my fucking rig back, and my kid has just been on a fucking tear with my wife. He's not listening. He's saying he's not going to do things. He's like, I don't care if I get punished. It doesn't matter anyway. I'll just ask my grandma for stuff anyway. And so I come in at the back end of this, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? So I get told what the fuck's going down, and I'm speaking to my kid. I'm like, listen, Adrian can say those things to his parents. Do you know why? Because his parents aren't me. Do you think you can say that to me? Do you think you can say it to mama? Do you think you can say it to anyone? If I ever hear you speak to an elder like that again, you're finished. I'm like, why did you do that? What were you even thinking? And he's like, I don't know. My mind told me to do it. And it made me laugh a little bit, but I had to stay in character. So I took him for a walk and just explained to him that if he tries to pull any of that bullshit, he's fucked. His friends aren't going to get in trouble, but by fucking God, he is going to get in trouble. It's the fucking parents, though. I'm so fucking sick of these fucking parents. The parents make your job 100 fucking times harder. Now I'm starting to realize why all my friends' parents hated me when I was growing up. Because I was undoing all their good work. They would spend months disciplining their kids, and then 2 hours with me and a couple of rocks through some windows, and it would all be over. Like, what's the effort for? I'm fucking so over it. I don't know what's going to happen when I get back to Australia. We were looking at this area in Sydney, and I didn't know much about it. And then I spoke to my mate Dino. I'm like, we're looking here at the moment. What do you think? He's like, yeah, that area's okay, but it has a lot of housing commission around there. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, how many fucking Adrians are around there? He'll be fucking smoking bongs in grade 2. So now I've got to think about that. And then on top of that, I've also got to think about shitting on other people's kids when I get back to Australia as well, because I'm not going to stop it, but it could get a little bit dangerous. I'm just at fucking war with Adrian's. Anyway, it's Monday today and it's Ask Boyle time. If you have a question or a scenario or a fucking hypothetical or fucking anything, it doesn't matter. Just email it through to boylecomedy@gmail.com and I'll get around to it. So this week's question was sent in by my man Carlton Elias. And he just asked simply, have you found that there are different skill sets between podcasting and stand-up? Well, Carlton, you have come to the right place. Yeah, there's a little bit of crossover, but they're fucking pretty different. Like with stand-up, you can get away with not being a funny person at all, and still with hard work and just a little bit of fucking joke writing ability, you can become a good stand-up. Like there's a formula to a joke. You have the premise, like the setup, you have the punchline, and then you have some tags. That's pretty much it. So even if you're not funny at all, which a lot of comedians aren't, you can still use that formula to become a good stand-up. With podcasting, there's nowhere to hide. Especially if you do it by yourself. There is nowhere to hide. Like it's not written, it's not rehearsed, it's just fucking swinging for the fences every go. But podcasting is much more free, I feel like. Like I'm pretty sure a joke about autistic Adrian's not going to fly on stage, especially to a room full of people that don't know about Adrian's. So the material in stand-up isn't just sculpted by the comedian. It's sculpted by the audience too. You go out there with a fucking idea. You think it's great. You sort of have to put it in some sort of fucking structure as well. Here on podcasting, you just fucking riff and hope something good comes out. I mean, you can do that on stage as well, but you run into way more dead ends when there's a fucking audience. So anyway, you come up with an idea, you take it to the stage. Generally, it bombs. Not always. Like sometimes it goes good first shot, but there's a kernel there, then you take it to the next audience. You see their reaction, then you tweak it a little bit. You keep taking it to different audiences, and it's sculpted by the audience. You get something that's universal enough. Whereas podcasts, you just hit record, you say it, you press stop, and just go, fuck it. Take it or leave it, cunts. There's been a few things that I've talked about on the podcast that I tried on stage before I did it on the podcast, and it just wouldn't work on stage. Just topics. I can't even fucking think of what they are now, but I remember going, yeah, well, it doesn't work on stage. I'll just fucking riff it on the podcast. And they turn out to be good podcasts, but the material doesn't transfer to stage at all. Then on stage, you've got so many different fucking variables too. Mainly the fucking crowd, but also delivery, timing. There's a lot more to stand-up, but also stand-up is very context relevant, if that's the way you say it. Like stand-up material, the way it's structured, its rhythm, everything about it really needs to be in a room, a dark room with a microphone, a light, a good sound system. The crowd needs to be paying attention, and then the jokes work. Like if you take one of those variables out, like if you make it a bright room instead of a dark room, it changes the whole fucking thing. Like if you took a lot of stand-up and just did them to a friend at a dinner table, they'll laugh a little bit. Maybe. They probably won't even laugh. Who even likes hearing jokes anyway? They probably won't laugh. It needs to be in a dark place with disgusting people. That's where stand-up needs to be. Podcasting just needs to be one disgusting person with a microphone. That's it. But I think podcasting is way freer than stand-up. You can just fucking tee off on a podcast. It's fun. It's freeing. But you've got to be funny on a podcast. There's no fucking bullshit to it. You're either funny or you're not funny. I suppose you could learn it like any other skill, but fuck, that would be hard. So yeah, they're the differences. I don't prefer one over the other. I love doing this podcast and I love doing stand-up every now and then. But yeah, the main difference is to be a stand-up, you don't need to be funny. To be a podcaster, you do. Anyway, I hope I cleared that up for you. That'll do for tonight. If you're enjoying the podcast, no, I'm not even going to say that today. Yes, I will. If you're enjoying the podcast, share it around with your friends, and I'll see you the fuck later.